we turn the spotlight to the most critical but often neglected tier of governance in Nigeria, being the local government administration and its undeniable role in driving grassroots growth. Local governments were designed to be the engine room of development, but is that the case currently, despite a landmark Supreme Court ruling? It is agreed that the tier is closest to the people and serves as a bridge, between government and everyday life. Yet in too many places, especially in resource-rich regions like the Niger Delta, this bridge seems broken, hijacked, if not outright ignored. Now, the Supreme Court reaffirming the financial and administrative autonomy of local governments was supposed to assert the independence of the local government areas, but how effective has that ruling been, or are some state governments still reluctant to let go of control of local government areas in their domain? Now, the basic needs of water, rural roads, and health centers, how biting is it now? Are the local governments able to cater for their needs? Speaking with us today on this issue is human rights and civil society activist Barrister Clifford Thomas, who joins us live. You're welcome on the program. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning, Savio. Good morning, Jennifer.
Barrister. And
it's nice being on set today.
Indeed. Happy New Month to you.
Same to you. I forgot to add Happy Children's Day.
Oh, thank you very much. And I hope you'd have to organize a celebration for
We will look forward to that.
Indeed. Well, let's look at the third tier of government, as we should call it. Based on your assessment, especially the states in the Niger Delta region and by extension the country at large, how would you assess the current state of activities or administration activities in local government areas in the country? And do you think they have been able to live up to the expectation of a third tier of government?
Well, Jennifer, this is a very serious question to ask because in being very honest, the honest truth may not be what the powers that be want to hear, but we always tell them the truth, no matter whose ox is God. Before answering that question, we need to also try and understand or do a brief retrospective analysis as to how it was before this administration came in. At a point in time, the third tier of government, 774 constitutionally guaranteed local government councils in Nigeria were totally eroded and they didn't exist. They existed only on audio, on paper, and it was more of a center of corruption where you want to steal big, you can go there, and you are appointed the local government administrator or local chairman, and then you could siphon, as it were, whatever remains after the joint account, because there's a thievery going on in the joint account system between the local government and state government. But we thank God that the incumbent president was bold enough to approach the Supreme Court through the learned Attorney General of the Federation that he sought interpretation as to certain sections of the Constitution. And then the Supreme Court gave vent to the real interpretation as to the fact that the third tier of the local government system is the third tier of government and is the closest to the people, and it should be more of a center of development. But the state governors wouldn't allow that be. They struggled and ensured that they frustrated that aspiration. In fact, at a point in time, some state government sponsored some local government chairmen to go as far as telling the court and letting it known publicly that local government chairmen didn't have capacity to actually handle local government. And if you check the revenue receipts of the local government administration, you'll be amazed at what goes there. But the question is, should the local government just exist to spend monies allocated to them? The answer is no. Are they not supposed to also think, make investments, look at their sphere of influence and say, okay, in our local government, we are 600,000 people, 300,000 people. How do we budget? How do we plan? And what windows of opportunities and funding to actually help facilitate or enhance development in our local government? So you just notice that some persons are appointed to go and superintend over the local government administration because of the new fillip of resources that will be coming to the local government. So as a way forward, or rather to look at what happened from last year, I think it was November, that they came in as elected in quotes, because as far as I'm concerned, they were all appointed as elected local government chairmen. Now, they got so much monies, but the question would again be, did those monies go directly to the local government? Because we are ready in civil society to hold them accountable. And a lot of them will go to prison. We are assuring them ahead of time. A lot of them will go to prison across the country, including local government chairmen in Akwa Ibom State. Now, you have the exclusive legislative list, you have the concurrent legislative list, you have the residual list. In the exclusive list is just federal government. In the concurrent list is federal government and state government. In the residual list is only the local governments. And the local government's functions and duties are clearly outlined. They are clearly outlined in the Constitution and in the residual list. What are they supposed to do? Very clear. Very clear. Look at health at that primary level. Look at education at that primary level. Take care of traditional rulers, but make sure that they are effective. The urban areas suffer more because even though they give them something slightly above in terms of federal allocation, what comes to other local governments or rural local governments, you notice that the pressure due to urban to rural-urban migration on the facilities, the infrastructure in urban local governments like Uyo, Ikorekwene, Eket. In fact, I think Abak is also having the same thing. And some, even Ibesikwa Sultan. Because of the good network of roads we have, Akwa Ibom has become a one-city state. As a one-city state, it means that you can drive with ease from one local government headquarters to the other local government headquarters. But are the infrastructures enough to support what is happening in the various local governments? That is a question that is begging to be answered. But so far, so good. I think a couple of local government chairmen in this state presently, from the ones we've been able to assess and see, have done noble.
Well, Barrister,
I wanted to, okay, go ahead.
I'm going to take you up on that vital point you just raised, because, I mean, it might seem as though it is difficult to lay hold of the local government chairmen that are currently elected and are manning their various offices. You see them running away from interviews. You try to reach out to them to really get to understand what is happening at the local government level, but they refuse to grant these interviews. And it begs the question, is there something they are hiding from us? Is there something they do not want the people to know that is actually going on at the local government level? Because this autonomy was handed down, and we want to know what has been the development since the autonomy was announced by the Supreme Court. Has it been effectively implemented? These are the questions they should be answering. But what is happening? Why is Algon not talking to the media?
I think, no, Algon is not local government. Algon is not local government. Algon is an association of local governments of Nigeria, Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. That's Algon.
So they do not have information as regards to the workings of the...
Which information would they want to give? You want Algon, Akwa Ibom to give information about your local government?
But the local government chairman constitutes the body.
Our local government system is not strong enough to respond to information or queries coming out from the media. I also want to blame our colleagues in the media. Our colleagues are not doing enough. They are not. They've tried. When you try to reach and the person chooses not to answer you, in my heydays as an investigative journalist, what we'll do is your non-answer to us is an answer to the question. We will impute your no idea, in quotes, or your refusal to see us. We'll impute it to you as an answer. And then we'll look for other sources we can glean from. When you glean from the grapevine, you notice that the information may not be totally correct, but in the absence of genuine information coming from the real source, you can also gesture to get something close
but
to the
for
real.
how long can we keep up with that?
No, because even the governor has not called them to order. If the governor of Akwa Ibom State, for instance, gets not civil servants or politicians to come and teach them, get experts, get civil society to come and train these people on the fact that you must open up your space to the media. Okay, how many local government areas do we know? Some of them might be doing well, but because of this official secret oath that they say, what is in government remains in government and cannot go out. The dimension of the mentality should change. We're still running government like a secret court. It's not open. So particularly local government, you have 31 local government areas in Akwa Ibom State. These are areas, these are entities that should help take the pressure off the state government. They should help take the pressure. But if the state government is not free with the funds, if the state government is still collecting the monies meant for the local government councils, you notice that the state government will also be trying to cover and hide some things, and the chairman will be trying to protect the state government because they were not elected. They were appointed as far as
they said they were elected.
No, they were appointed. They were not elected. It was election by appointment. And when you do election by appointment, you don't have the right to begin to defend some things or to say very authoritatively some things that you ought to speak about. So that's the situation.
But an election was conducted.
Which election? Don't let us look at the credibility of that election. Which election? There was appointments, and the appointments were done. That's why you had 31 over 31 on the first day of the election, and then you had 30 over 31 on the second day of the election. So let's not go there. They are the ones who are actually preventing journalists from getting the right information. If you allow journalists to get the right information, the public will get that same right information. And we will not react, we will be responding. Now, how many of them can publish how much they got in the last 6 months? Between December and May, how many of them can conveniently come out and hit their hands on their chest and say, in December we got this, in January we got this, in February and up to May, that this is what we got, and this was what we did. Let the people know, publish what you earn, publish what you get. They're not doing it. There's no transparency in the system.
What is strong arming the local government from functioning the way it should? And how can that be corrected? Because from your analysis, it might seem as though these men at the local government level do not have a say of their own. They seem to be controlled by forces.
Puppets. They are puppets. I dare any of them to a public debate on this station. I dare them. I dare them to public debate. I'm going to come with statistics and facts. Let them publish their own. I publish the one we have. Let us know. If you are able to carry the society along, tell us the truth. Not the governor is collecting so much. Okay, Oyo local government, for instance, let's assume that there's a month it gets like 600 million naira. Publish your 600 million. Tell us what you have done. Tell us what you did before. Tell us what you hope to do. You must have an interface. Look at what the governor is doing now. The governor is going from federal constituency to federal constituency. The governor is in a hurry to make friends. The governor is in a hurry to reach out to people. The governor is in a hurry to let people understand him, even though most people don't believe him. But the governor is in a hurry to let people, to make people to understand him. Now, what are the indicators of understanding, indices of understanding? Honesty, sincerity, transparency. There must be probity and accountability. But when these things are not there, no matter how you try to preach the gospel according to your government, it will not work.
Well, we know that the local government are supposed to have some level of self-sufficiency, be able to carry out projects and all of that. Do you think the monies that are going to them are enough for not just administrative purposes?
There is no local government in Akwa Ibom, there's no local government in Nigeria that is not getting more than enough for whatever development it wants to do. Now, are the local governments only supposed to be a one-stop center for trapping funds from the federation account? No. The local government are supposed to go into investments. The local government are supposed to go into development purposes for work or jobs that should help increase the social cost that, I mean, reduce the social costs and help improve welfare and infrastructural advantages to the people. The local government are supposed to own farms. How many local government councils in this country own farms?
We're
I
talking
mean,
about
large farms.
we're talking about placing enough emphasis on agriculture currently, especially when we're borrowing a leaf from the Arise agenda of Pastor Moino.
You're
to
talking
talk about that
Akwa
other than
Ibom.
Niger Delta region.
The agricultural component of the Arise agenda, how effective has it been? We appreciate the fact that the government is trying, but how effective has it been? I keep referring people, and I think civil society general will refer people. If you want to know that agriculture is working in this country or in this state, how many cups of garri did we buy for 1,000 2 years ago? And how many cups of garri are we buying for 1,000 this year? So we should be able to practically look at these things. It's not rocket science. If the Commissioner for Agriculture is not working with local government to say, where's the Supervisory Councillor for Agriculture? What do we really need? Akwa Ibom has the market to bring in equipment. But beyond that, Akwa Ibom can pull resources together to say, let us have a center of excellence in terms of equipment development, equipment molding. Let's pick a polytechnic. Let's pick a school. Put money in that place and say, this is what we want. They should be able to bring out tractors. We have tractors in this state that can be dismantled and recoupled with component parts that could be molded here. In terms of agriculture, how many cups of garri do we have going for 1,000 today? Do we have food security? We should not be looking at it. In fact, the bulk purchase project is not a project. It's not a good project. As far as I am concerned and civil society is concerned,
there's a lot of commendations.
The bulk purchase, the psychophants are the ones who are commending what is wrong. Now, the bulk purchase program is what the local government should do for their people. The government cannot be going to Moduaitam and every other market domestically located here to buy food stuff off the shelf from the market.
Well, the government says it's in collaborations with the local government areas.
I will not say anything again.
Okay. Well, if some of these
because
issues...
I feel very, very scandalized that we are promoting what is not tenable, what is not sustainable. How long will we run a bulk purchase project that is not reflected in the budget of the state?
Well, going by the local government autonomy and some of the things which you have mentioned, this is supposed to be covered by the local government. And from the expected expenditure or capital budget for these local governments, some of the local government would capture some of them, like in Abak. Abak is expected that this year they would get as high as 870 million naira for the capital expenditure. And a local government like Etimekpo will see as 505 million naira. And one other high one is Ikono, 895 million naira.
Is it per annum or
for the
per
year
month?
2025? For the year, and these are for projects, and specifically for projects from the state government. Now, one of the issue here is, do they really have the autonomy in the reception of these funds? And so far, when it comes to financial autonomy, have they been executing that when it comes in the state and other states in the region? Do you think that there are some bottlenecks or some issues where...
Well, Jennifer, when you ask an answer, I don't know where I could come in when you approbate and reprobate at the same time. Is there financial autonomy in the local government system? No, there is not. That's what I want to say. Because the state government shouldn't be collecting their monies from the local government to actually run projects for the local government. It's not autonomy, it's not financial autonomy. Financial autonomy means you are practicing true federalism at the local government level. Now, let them bring up their budgets. Bring up what you hope to spend money on. And where will you get the money? From financial, from statutory allocation, from gifts, grants, from every source. You let us know. It's very open. It's very frank. That's why you have open government. Now, when the state government chooses to still run projects, for local governments in a system that we claim or pretend or deceive ourselves enjoys financial autonomy, then we are deceiving ourselves.
Oh.
But when the local government, your local government, for instance, looks at the peculiar challenges of urbanization that it has, Uyo is presently about 75% rural. A lot of people see the roads and think Uyo is 80% urban. Uyo is a rural area. Yes, that's the truth. I'm from Uyo, so I know what I'm saying. I get the facts and the statistics. Now, we should be able to say, what is our comparative advantage? At Temepo, what's your comparative advantage? At Temepo, you have a lot of palm oil palm resource. And local government that have oil palm resource, why don't you group yourselves together to create a board, a community board, or a commodity committee, working with the state government to ensure that once you get this, you can process it and record it for Akwa Ibom. Right. Palm oil, palm kernels, and products of palm trees are not recorded for Akwa Ibom. They are recorded for Abia State.
All right,
not for Akwa Ibom.
But do they even have the political will to go?
They won't have political will to carry it out because they will be offending the persons who appointed them.
Let's talk about how these local government chairmen staying closer to where they govern and where their administration roles fall would be important to ensuring that
more than 27.
Well, Barrister,
I want to put in for. I'm sorry if I'm sounding. It's just that we don't have time, and I have a lot to say about local government in Akwa Ibom.
Okay.
Most of the local government chairmen are still not living in their council.
Yes, well, I was going to come there.
Okay.
Well, recently, Governor Moino was in Eket, and he inaugurated a residence for local government chairman, and he says that gesture is going to cut across the 31 local government areas in Akwa Ibom State with the hope of ensuring that these men are able to stay in their local government areas to be able to discharge their roles as administrators of the local government. Do you think this is going to succeed?
They will not stay.
The gestures, for instance, in Edo State, the governor, Mondo Pebo, recently procured SUVs for local government chairmen. I think about 17 of them. This is supposed to ease their job and help them discharge their administrative roles effectively. Do you think that these are steps that should be taken by state governments? Is it their responsibility to provide these amenities for the local government if the autonomy is supposed to be adhered to strictly?
If we had said it before, autonomy means I have full control of my resources. And I take full responsibility where I mismanage it or it's not coming well. When you, in fact, when you are trying to use state might to control the resources of local government and claim you actually spent money for houses, and we have had houses for chairmen, where the security villages. What's happening to the security villages? They are not good enough for the local government chairman to stay. Despite the fact that the DP of the local government stays there, the SSS operative stays there, all the security agencies, they have their presence there. You notice that these places are not good enough for them according to their standards. A lot of them want to live in Shelter Africa, and they live there. If you check, they live there. They live in Shelter Africa, in Osama, in a wet housing, and a few of them outside. No? But if you live with your people, I think you'll be able to understand them better. And I think it's a desire of the state governor to ensure that these people actually live with their people. Unfortunately, they still believe that they must own a place in Uyo local government. They must live in Uyo local government. They must live in the state capitals. It's across in the whole country. Very few of them. And they can be counted like 2 or 3 of them.
Do you think there are potentials that our local government areas can step up to whatever leads of life that we're seeing in the capital cities within the Niger Delta region? What are the necessary motivations needed towards ensuring that the local government can be attractive?
How many local government areas have independent power facility? But they have the resources and the potential to bring in investors to raise something slightly less than 1 megawatt of electricity in their local government. They're not thinking. They believe that, oh, we were appointed by election to go there and control resources and give a percentage of that to whoever elected or to whoever appointed us. That's the truth. Except you don't want me to sit down on set and tell the truth as it stands. But if our local government areas are properly elected, democratically, elected from any platform, they elected, before you go there, you must have told the people what you want to do. You want to give electricity, how? You want to build more market stores, how? If you build more market stores, what will you bring in there? You want to create feeder roads, which are actually your responsibilities. How do you want to do them? Do you want to own a small in your works department? You want to own some tractors and some things that could help and boost agriculture, clear roads, enter fisheries, and do all of those? Yes, you can do it. But how many of them have the capacity and the mind to do it? Very few, if none.
Local governments are mini states, and they must have some level of power, authority to discharge their roles. Why are they lacking that?
Provided for.
Why are they lacking that? Why are they lacking that? Why are they unable?
They are glorified slaves and houseboys of the puppeteer that puts them there as puppets.
That can be corrected. Do you agree, Barrister? And how can it be corrected?
How? How do you want to? You want to? When a dog has started eating, biting human beings and tasting human blood, it's difficult for the dog to stop. The thing that can happen now is face out this present set of politicians. How many of them are actually pure and clean? Face out the present set of politicians and set a new template that will guarantee a pure election, true election of those of local government administrators. And once election is done, the people will hold them accountable. Now, the people cannot really truly hold them accountable. And they don't feel they are responsible to the people. They are only responsible to the big men in very big palaces who appointed them or recommended them for appointment.
But is there no legal way of ensuring that even those who are incumbent can be held accountable, maybe monitored and some oversight on their activities?
I have said that a lot of them will go to prison, and we are waiting for that time.
When will the time be?
No, very soon. A lot of them, they don't have immunity. Don't forget that. They don't have immunity. They can be investigated. They can be prosecuted.
Even while in office?
While in office. They can be investigated, arrested, arraigned, prosecuted, and sent to jail. And let them enjoy the parks now.
So it shows that the local government actually have limited powers compared to what's...
What kind of powers are you talking about? What limits their powers?
What's the essence of the autonomy if they cannot have that immunity?
We are saying the same thing in different words. We are the interviewer and the interviewee, and we are bringing out the same answers. That's what we are doing. It's a very simple thing. If there was autonomy in election, there was independence in election, the people will sit up and know that they are responsible to the people. The elected, the officials will know that they are responsible to the people. So the people will be asking them questions, not going to beg them for money. No, you don't need to beg them for money. You need to ask questions. Ete, how much monies came into this local government in the month of April? They tell you that, of course, they won't want to disclose. They won't want to disclose it. But if they tell you that you will also have access to where we can get those information. So we get, in fact, I think we may start publishing from this month what your local government earn from the federation account, from every form of account accruing to them, so that people themselves will know. Because when people don't know, and they can come, I think they got like 600 million, for instance. They can come and lie and tell you that, we got 60 million. And true to type, it will be that 60 million because 540 million may have been removed by the state government to say, oh, there's special projects we want to do for the local government. The state government hands off the finances of local government, allow them to be held accountable for it. Those men who are there manning the local government administration as chairmen and as councillors, they have capacity. Let us help build their capacity and let them work effectively.
Okay, but then we've seen so many states being faced with so much of criticism for not holding up to the local government autonomy. But isn't there at least a state with some local governments which have been given the leverage to have their financial autonomy and function on the tenets of democracy?
Well, let me refer you to Lagos State before 2007 in Lagos State. There was democracy came into Nigeria in 1999 and returned through the back door of military jackboot in 1999. And the incumbent president of the country was the governor of Lagos State. And he said, he looked at it, they had, I think, 20 local governments. And he said, no, we should be able to have up to 57 development areas. Development councils. When he created those things, the federal government led by President Olusegun Obasanjo blocked the finances of the Lagos State government from going to them. So what they did was they relied on taxes. They relied on innovative strategies of generating income. And now there are 57 local government development councils, local development councils in Lagos, because the person who was the governor was able to think and think straight. If our governor thinks, he should be able to push the local government chairman to begin to work innovatively and say, what do I want to specialize in? For instance, like we have about 8 local governments that are littoral local governments. Why don't you pull resources together, buy firing kin, buy fishing trawlers and the rest, get marine products, and then you package, you create an industry. You package and sell to the mainland Akwa Ibom. You make your money. And you develop them. They have tanning industries and the rest. The ones that are good in agriculture, go to Ibiono and some other local governments which are good with agriculture. They can create a cassava farm, cassava competitiveness, and then give to the state. Those with palm oil, they can do the same thing. Those who can do rice can do the same thing. So that way, you know that you have an area of comparative advantage where you can actually say, yes, we are strong in this area.
All right.
And this is how much we can make.
All right, Barrister, you talked about economy now. Let me push you straight to issues of security and the role that the local government can play in ensuring that some of the issues that we have been grappling with, talking about security, can be addressed. I mean, we know that the local government are the closest to the people. And if there is proper liaising between the state and the local government, we could, to a large extent, arrest the trends of insecurity, talking about kidnappings, which have become the order of the day recently. To what extent can this synergy be, ensured towards the goal of effective security within the local government areas in the Niger Delta region?
What is Akwa Ibom? Akwa Ibom is just an agglomeration of the local governments that make up the state. Akwa Ibom is the 31 local government areas that make up the state. And when we talk of a chief security officer who collects, I think, a little over 2 billion or thereabout every month, he could devote something strictly for local governments, for some local government area in partnership, to say that, okay, you could do this, you could do that. Where are the youth councils, the youth associations, the village youths? Where are they? You could get them to, okay, train like 10 or 20 per local government, per village, and say 5 will be for intelligence, 10 will be for operations and all of that.
How about the community watch that the governor spoke of?
The community watch is watching what they cannot see. Leave that one. We are talking about the real people, not persons who are recommending to go and just be collecting. A lot of them don't even go to work.
They're supposed to be picked from different local government areas of the state. Hasn't that been the case? I mean, we are privy to that information.
I'm not a member of. You're privy to
the
it?
State government. It's in public knowledge.
No,
it's public domain.
I don't believe everything the government says, because the government is out to garnish and make their position very beautiful.
But the community watch has been said to be one of the ways that the government can actually tackle.
Okay, let me ask you that. How effective is the
I'm the
community
interviewer.
watch? No, I am a journalist too. How effective has the community watch been?
I'm asking you, how effective has it been?
How effective has it been? So we are saying the local government does not need to rely on the community watch.
Yes, community watch.
Community, where they watch communities. Well, they cannot be relying on it. What the local government should do is you have autonomy. You must assure your people of security. The DSS is there, the police is there. You can work with them. You can even, in fact, the police and the DSS cannot get intelligence if it doesn't come from the community.
But then, these local government chairmen, do they even know their responsibility?
No, they don't. A lot of them don't. Aside from the local government chairman of E2, and I think 2 or so others, most of them are not really working. They're not doing anything. They just sit down there to placate on a monthly basis those who recommended them for their.
What about the trainings that they embarked upon before they assumed office? I understand that it was a training that was organized for them towards ensuring that they are aware of what the job descriptions.
My brother, if you see the kind of money that enters on paper, audio, enters the account, it can make some of them who were poor and who are still poor to go mad. A lot of them, having so much money does not make you rich. You grow wealth. Having so much money, you jump into riches, you grow wealth, does not make you intelligent. But the training, very good steps. We appreciate those trainings. At least it has helped some of them to understand that they are supposed to be living in their local government. Some of them are operating in virtual space. So, but it's okay. It's okay. We are very happy that we're trained, but let us see the result of the training.
But what about the aspect of revenue generation? Are they doing a lot, or are they making attempts to ensure that each local government...
Do they know how to generate revenue? Do they know what... They only print receipt and give to some persons they call consultants or glorified touts to go and collect money, harass people, harass women in the market who don't have stores and scatter their wares and all that. So there should be a standard revenue generation structure that will help improve the revenues of the local government.
Well, Barrister, let's talk with this, talking about the vision of a well-functioning local government within the Niger Delta region and, of course, Nigeria-wide, because, I mean, this issue of autonomy, we want to get to the root of it. What do you think are those steps that can be taken holistically now towards ensuring that we have a system that functions so that we can begin to talk about developments within the local government areas? There are people who love nature and would want to live in those local government areas.
That is true.
Why are we not catering for those? It's an aspect of tourism that we can actually look into.
A lot of local government chairmen lack initiative and they don't know what to do because they are pampered. Every month they go cap in hand to beg and collect monies. It enters their accounts, their local government accounts are credited. And because they are credited, they don't work for it. If we had a system which says for every 1 million you have, you should be able to bring a counterpart funding opportunity to create fund, generate fund of 40% of that amount. You see them will be up and doing. So it's a sad thing though, but I think the first thing we should do is have credible elections. Once we have credible elections, the local government administrators will be responsible to the people, and then we'll be able to install a regime of accountability, transparency, and probity. That way we can ask questions. And it is not one man that is so powerful to say, I appoint 15 local government chairmen. No, it's not one. In fact, you have a multiplicity of various political parties justly. They will be voting the person and the policy of the party.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the conversation around local government growth and autonomy, and of course, the development of the local government can't achieve that from top down. It usually has to be from the bottom up. And the conversation around local government, we'll continue to revisit these conversations and see how we can continually talk about how the local government can be up to par. So that we begin to talk about global best practices and how to uplift our local government. Thank you very much, Barrister Clifford Thomas, human rights and civil society activist.
Thank you very much.
You've been really active today.
Very active. Thank you so much.
Well, that's the size of Niger Delta Today. Many thanks for staying tuned. We would be back on your screens tomorrow, same time. My name is Xavier Robert, and with me has been my co-host Jennifer Pius. Thank you, and do have a terrific day.
Have a great day.